this symbolic way, the Archbishop of Paris opened the doors of the Notre-Dame Cathedral, the 18th century organ and the words of Psalm 121, which tells of God's protection, sounded again. A crowd of faithful from all over the world flocked to the cathedral.
I just had to be here. My conscience wouldn't let me stay home. So with how much it means to me, I'm here with my family's blessing.
And it means a lot for many people in the world because of religion, for example, because of culture, because of architecture. And many people recognize themselves in these cathedrals.
More than 50 leaders, heads of government, and crowned heads came to Paris. Among the guests were Polish President Andrzej Duda and the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. For Donald Trump, this is the first foreign trip since the victorious election. The ceremony was an opportunity for behind-the-scenes talks. Emmanuel Macron with Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. Pope Francis wrote a letter to the participants of the ceremony. A short speech by the French president and a concert by local artists were also scheduled. This is a great event. Thousands of people, presidents and prime ministers from all over the world. They are looking at Paris today and at our cathedral. Today is the official opening. Tomorrow, before noon, the first Mass with the participation of the faithful from all over the world. The cathedral will once again be bustling with life. The interest of the faithful to see the renovated cathedral is enormous. Everyone will be able to enter and pray in this holy place. A pearl of architecture, a testimony of faith, and a European cultural heritage. Notre-Dame Cathedral. 5 years ago, the hearts of the faithful trembled when a fire consumed the tower and engulfed much of the cathedral. A heroic fight against the elements saved the temple from the flames. The French prosecutor's office concluded that the fire occurred accidentally.
When people can talk together and can work together, well, we can build again in 5 years, for 5 years, something like that.
The painstaking and precise process of rebuilding the cathedral began. It took the knowledge and expertise of experts from all over the world, including Poland. The reconstruction consumed more than 700 million euros. The burnt spire was reconstructed with wood from thousands of precisely selected over 150-year-old oak trees.
When we arrived my first day and I saw the pile of oak logs at our workshop, I just started laughing with my colleagues. We just thought it was impossible. You know, we had 600 logs just for our part in the nave.
Today, many say that the restoration of the cathedral is a true miracle. In rapidly secularizing France, churches are much more often torn down than built. But this church, which for centuries has united people of different nationalities, views, and even faiths, today again unites and impresses with its beauty. Tens of thousands of Georgians come here every night to protest the country's drift toward Moscow. In announcing the turnaround, Prime Minister Irakli Kobakidze sparked an ever-growing wave of protests. Authorities have banned the use of fireworks, as they reportedly stress police officers breaking up demonstrations. Helmets are also not allowed to be worn, as they make it more difficult to hit them with batons. Nonetheless, demonstrators will keep coming. An overnight police charge ended with the arrest of nearly 50 participants in a peaceful demonstration. Meanwhile, the authorities are applying the law as they understand it. On Friday, the leader of the opposition Coalition for Change Party, Nika Gvaramia, was sentenced to 12 days. The leader of another group, Strong Georgia, Aleksandr Elisashvili, was temporarily arrested for 2 months. Protests are also taking place in Batumi on the Black Sea and the cities of Zugdidi and Kutaisi in the west of the country. The protesters are confident. I asked how they understand the Prime Minister's words about liberal fascists.
So we also part of the Russian propaganda. I mean, I think that he is truly crazy man. He's out of his mind.
Georgian people will win this battle. It's no matter what they will do. We are not going to give up. I see Georgian people. They are brave. and they are angry, and they are fighting for their goals. And I believe us, I believe all of these people, and I believe of our better future. So that's why we are here, and we are not going to stop until we win.
Very much so. I mean, I think it's this government. I think having people that are non-educated and in sports should not be in politics, and they don't belong in government. And we need people to push us towards Europe, push us towards a better future, not towards Russia, our enemy.
Rustaveli Square. It was here in 2008 that the late Polish President Lech Kaczynski stood at the forefront of the heads of state of Central Europe who flew in to stop Russian aggression against Georgia. Georgians remember this to this day, while young Georgians also have no doubts about the causes of the Smolensk catastrophe.
He was a big supporter of our country at this time and after this as well, until his death. And yeah, he was standing in front of in front of the parliament, exactly here, and his support was very important at this time. That's how we survived at this time, because you know Russia decided to, conquer the whole entire country, and because of him, because of Kaczynski and other Baltic leaders as well, that's how we survived, and we appreciate it. You know, this fighting against Russia and against Putin's aggression started exactly in 2008. So where Kaczynski was standing here. After this was Crimea, Ukraine first war, and Ukraine current war, and it is continuing right now in Georgia. Now, exactly now. That's why, you know, finally we have to end this Putin's aggression and his dedication to capture the entire Eastern Europe, and how it was before. A lot of doubts about it, that Russian involvement was absolutely, logical in his death, because there are many, I don't know many details about it, but with what I know so far, it was, Russian specific operation against him, and I don't know why Europe did not have a proper reaction about this at this time. But from this perspective, today, in retrospect, it's absolutely logical that Russia, it was, organized by Russians.
The Georgian Dream Party claims to have won the October parliamentary elections and has a mandate for a pro-Russian turn in politics. However, democratic countries have not recognized the results of those elections. Georgi Vashkhadze, chairman of the United National Movement Party, believes that the elections were not fair, and that is why he did not take up his mandate as an MP. He says Georgians do not want to return to the Russian sphere of influence.
Actually, we were framing these elections as a referendum between EU and Russia, and now we're saying that Georgian Dream rigged referendum, and then they started implementation Georgia's, let's say, isolation from European Union and integration with Russian Federation. That's why people are at the street. That's because Georgian people disagree with that. Because Georgian people, they want to be Georgia, member of European Union and member of democratic world.
The European Union is considering excluding Georgia from visa-free travel. A report has been written on the subject, according to which, if the authorities in Tbilisi do not take the recommended measures, then certain categories of people will be deprived of the right to enter the European Union without a visa. In our country, courage has stagnated, and slogans like freedom or independence seem an exaggerated phraseology. Here, tens of thousands of people find it worth sacrificing personal security for these notions. The 11th night of protests lies ahead. Romanian services have conducted searches at the homes of several suspects accused of illegally financing the campaign of the country's presidential candidate. A second round of elections was to be held tomorrow, but on Friday, the Constitutional Court annulled the first round. The unprecedented decision by the Constitutional Court came after the president declassified intelligence data showing that it was Russia that ran a large-scale campaign involving thousands of social media accounts promoting Calin Georgescu. Intelligence reports have revealed that this candidate's campaign was supported by a foreign state with interests at odds with Romania's. These are serious issues. According to Georgescu and his staff, the Supreme Court's decision to invalidate Friday's election was unlawful.
Decizia Curții Constituționale.
Today's decision by the Constitutional Court is more than a legal controversy. It is practically a formalized coup d'etat.
O lovitură de stat.
Before it happened, the people of Romania expressed their fierce opposition to Georgescu's candidacy. A crowd of thousands gathered in University Square in downtown Bucharest on Thursday evening, despite freezing temperatures. We are choosing between the East and the West. For us, NATO and the European Union means security for our children and grandchildren. Most polls predicted that Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu of the ruling center-left Social Democratic Party would win. When it was announced that Georgescu, who was polling at 5%, had won, the political establishment went into shock. Not only did we have to deal with dishonest and illegal use of tools on TikTok, as alleged by Calin Georgescu, but we had to deal with an organized, coordinated, and externally funded, probably by Russia, online propaganda and defamation campaign. In an intelligence release, the Secret Service claimed that one TikTok user paid other users more than $380,000 to promote Georgescu's content. Bucharest residents are confused and surprised. I didn't know about this, but it's undemocratic and it's very bad that this has happened. We feel uncertainty. We don't know what direction all this is going. It scares us and our families. I always vote for centrist candidates, so I won't vote for Georgescu anyway. As you can see, what is happening is quite serious. The elections will be repeated. This puts us in a very bad light. Romanian President Klaus Iohannis is reassuring. His term was set to end on the 21st of December, but he will remain in office until a new president is elected. Romania is a stable and secure country. I say this to investors and financial markets. I say this to the European Union. Romania is and remains a solid and pro-European country. And now I say to NATO, Romania remains a safe and solid ally. Many observers have expressed concern that the cancellation of the vote could spark social unrest. For now, it is unclear whether Georgescu will be able to participate in a repeated election. We don't know what will happen because for now, the court has not invalidated Georgescu's candidacy, which means that there was fraud, but we will start the game from the beginning, deal the cards and see who wins. For now, it is not known whether the one who allegedly cheated has been excluded from the game. Romania, a member of the European Union and NATO, saw 9,400,000 citizens, or 52.5% of eligible voters, cast ballots in the first round. Now the government will have to set a new election date. The entire election process must be repeated. The president serves a 5-year term and has significant decision-making powers in national security, foreign policy, and judicial appointments.